Hi everyone, this is U.S. immigration lawyer Michael Ashoori, and in today's video I want to discuss how to get a green card through self-petition. Specifically, I'm going to discuss 4 different ways to do this. And with that said, let's first start off by doing a quick overview on how somebody can get a green card. There are family-based options, employment-based options, investment-based options, hardship options including asylum and refugee, and diversity. And by diversity, I'm referring to the diversity visa. Now, these are pretty much how to get a green card. And if you look at the 2 more prominent ways to get a green card, which are the first 2, family-based and employment-based, traditionally under these options, you're required to have a petitioner or a sponsor, which is somebody that's filing a petition on your behalf, meaning that under these options, traditionally, someone else, either a person or a business, has to start the process, the immigration process for you. So basically this is somebody else. It's not you as an individual. The process must start with someone else. Now, when we're referring to a green card through self-petition, what we're referring to is being able to avoid the whole process of having somebody else file the petition for you, or avoiding the whole process of having another business file the petition for you and allowing you to do it on your own. So hence the name green card through self-petition. So now that we understand what we're talking about, I want to discuss 4 ways to get a green card through self-petition. With that said, we'll start with option number 1, which is the EB-1A green card based on extraordinary ability. So basically, the EB-1A visa is an immigrant visa for people with extraordinary abilities in either the arts, sciences, athletics, education, or business. Extraordinary ability means that you're one of the small percentage of people who have risen to the top of your field. So as you can tell, this isn't an option that's available to just anybody. It's really limited to people that are at the very top of their field. Now let's discuss how to get a green card under EB-1A. So basically, there are 3 things that you must show to qualify for an EB-1A green card. The first thing is that you're somebody that's a person of extraordinary ability. And you do this based on meeting certain criteria. Specifically, USCIS has a number of criteria that they use to determine whether somebody is a person of extraordinary ability. These criteria include evidence of you having won international awards. So that's a very strong one. If you're able to show that you're somebody who's won various international awards in your field. If you're a member of organizations that require extraordinary ability to be a member, that's another criteria that they use. They check to see whether your compensation is very high compared to others in your field. They look to see whether you have publications that you've authored, or whether there have been press releases issued about you. They also check to see whether your work has been cited to, so the number of citations that you have. That's another important factor. These are just various criteria that they use to determine whether or not you're a person of extraordinary ability. You do not have to meet all of these criteria. Specifically, you have to meet 3 of them. And that's how you qualify for the first requirement to show that you have an extraordinary ability. The next requirement is that you must show that you're going to work in your field of extraordinary ability. They want to make sure that you're going to actually work in your field that you're an expert in. For example, if you're a scientist of some kind, they don't want to see that you're going to come and work as a tennis coach. They want to make sure that you're going to come to the United States and work as a scientist in your field. So that's requirement number 2. Requirement number 3 is that you must show that your entry to the United States will substantially benefit the United States. So those are the 3 requirements to qualify under EB-1A. Now I want to discuss how USCIS goes about evaluating an EB-1A case. Now, it's a 2-step process. The first step is the evidentiary threshold. And under this process, basically USCIS goes through your application, your petition, and they see whether you qualify, whether you satisfy at least 3 of the criteria that we mentioned. For example, they check to see whether out of all the criteria that we listed, including awards, publications, compensation, and everything like that, they check to see whether you at least satisfy 3 of those requirements. That's step 1, the evidentiary threshold. The second step is called the final merits determination. Under the final merits determination is where USCIS now reviews your entire application as a whole to check, based on the totality of the circumstances, whether you're somebody that's risen to the very top of your field, whether you're one of the few people that's really risen to the top of your field. That's known as the final merits determination. So that's the two-step process that USCIS employs to evaluate an EB-1A case. So all that is option number 1, which is EB-1A. Now we're going to move to option number 2, which is the national interest waiver. The national interest waiver is a subcategory of the EB-2 visa, and it's available to advanced degree professionals or persons with exceptional abilities. Specifically, the national interest waiver is a waiver of the requirement to have an approved labor certification from a U.S. employer. With a national interest waiver, you can apply for a green card without a company sponsor and without a U.S. job offer. So if you recall earlier in this video, we discussed that under employment-based options, it's the typical way to get a green card through employment is through an employer sponsor, where there's an employer that's starting the immigration process on your behalf. And basically, under the EB-2 national interest waiver, this option that we're discussing right now, it allows you to forego having a job offer from a U.S. company, and it allows you to forego this whole process of the employer going through this whole process with the Department of Labor to be able to sponsor you. So that's the national interest waiver. Now, the requirements to get a national interest waiver are, first, you must independently qualify for an EB-2 visa. EB-2 has its own requirements. The only requirements that you do not have to satisfy under EB-2 are the labor certification requirement and the job offer requirement. You do not have to have a job offer to qualify for an EB-2 national interest waiver, and therefore you do not have to have a company that gets an approved labor certification. Next requirement is that the field that you plan to work in must have substantial merit and national importance. You also must be well positioned to advance your proposed endeavor. To qualify under this requirement, basically USCIS is looking at you as an individual, and they're checking to see, based on your past performance and your past track record, how likely you are to be successful in doing whatever it is that you're setting out to do in the United States. And lastly, you must show that it's in the national interest to waive the requirement for you to have a U.S. job offer from a company with an approved labor certification. So those are the 4 criteria, the 4 requirements to qualify for a national interest waiver. These are very complicated. They're not super easy. There's a lot of details to them. If you have any questions about this whatsoever, feel free to email me. I'd be happy to assist you with that. I'll discuss ways to get in contact with me at the end of this video. So that's the national interest waiver. Moving on, option number 3 that I want to discuss about how to get a green card through self-petition is the EB-5 visa. The EB-5 visa is an investment-based immigrant visa classification. Basically, the way EB-5 works is that you're required to invest a minimum of $900,000 in a U.S. business. In addition, your investment must lead to the creation of 10 full-time jobs for U.S. workers. And through EB-5, you're eligible to get a green card for yourself, your spouse, and your unmarried children under 21 years old. So if you see this, it's basically an ability to get a green card based on making an investment in a U.S. business. That's option number 3, the EB-5 visa. To go through the requirements very quickly, you must invest in a new commercial enterprise. You must invest a minimum of $900,000. Or $1.8 million if your investment is outside of a targeted employment area. You must create 10 full-time jobs for U.S. workers. You must demonstrate that your investment funds are coming from a lawful source. So you have to be able to show that you obtained the investment funds legally and not through any sort of illegal activity. The funds must be put at risk. So you must actually commit the funds in some kind of a way. And you must engage in the management of the business. So it's not enough that you're just totally removed from the business completely. You must have some involvement in the management of the business. So that's EB-5. Now moving on to option number 4, which is VAWA. Now, VAWA is not for everyone. VAWA is, I'll explain it to you kind of based on what it's called. It's the Violence Against Women's Act. Don't be fooled by the name. VAWA is, men and women are both equally eligible for VAWA. And basically what it is it's a special law which allows the spouse and or child of an abusive U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident to apply for a green card by self-petition. Through VAWA, someone can apply for their green card without the help of their abusive spouse. Basically, as you know, the definition sets out, VAWA is for people that have been abused by a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. People that qualify for VAWA are either the spouse of the abusive citizen or lawful permanent resident, or their children of an abusive lawful permanent resident or U.S. citizen. So that's VAWA. That's option number 4. So we've discussed the 4 options. Option number 1 was EB-1A. Option number 2 was a national interest waiver. Option number 3 was EB-5, the investor visa. And option number 4 is VAWA. So in conclusion, I really hope you guys liked this video. I hope you guys got a ton of value from it and it was helpful to you. If so, please go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel. We're posting videos weekly, immigration related. Very hopefully you guys find them very helpful. If you have any questions, I know we went through a lot of this content fairly quickly, and a lot of it can be, quite confusing and not really easy to grasp right away. So if you have any questions whatsoever, I've provided my contact details in the description below. In addition, I've provided a special link for you to go ahead and schedule a free consultation with my office. Feel free to go ahead and click that link and schedule a consultation at your convenience. We would be very happy to help you. So yeah, again, I really hope you guys liked the video and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.